Okay, in the next 3 videos, I will continue talking about algebraic fraction and factorization. Okay, so what we are going to do, first of all, we're gonna see how we simplify algebraic fractions, and then we're gonna see how we can add. So we're gonna do an addition and subtraction of algebraic fraction using factorization, and then 3, we're gonna be doing multiplication, so multiplying and dividing algebraic expression, and then at the end we're gonna have a mixed question. Okay, so we're gonna have review. Okay, so that is what we're gonna be doing in the next 3 videos that I'm gonna upload in Canvas, and then you can watch, and then you can do the exercises from the booklet that I gave you. But if you are in Mrs. Hall class, then you're going to be doing the exercises from the booklet that she put together for you. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is simplifying fraction. Okay, so let's start. Okay, find algebraic fractions. All right, when simplifying fractions, you're gonna use your factorization skills. So that means that you're gonna be factorizing a fraction, and when you do that, then you're gonna have to look at very carefully the numerator and denominator. Sometimes you can simplify only the top, sometimes you can simplify only the bottom, and sometimes you can simplify both. Okay, let's see. All right, let's say that if you have a question like this. Okay, so we're gonna start with a very easy one, and then, well, we're gonna increase the level of difficulty. Let's say that you have a squared b divided by ab squared. Okay, so when you have expression like this, you have to eliminate the same amount of factors from the top and the bottom. For example, in here we have 2a on top, so we have a squared, but at the bottom we have only 1. After simplifying, you're gonna have 1 left on top, okay, because in here you're gonna take 1a from the top, 1a from the bottom, so that means that still we have 1 on top. And then we're gonna do the same with b. Okay, so you can see that we have 1b on top, but we have 2 at the bottom. So after elimination, you're gonna have only 1b at the bottom, okay, because you're gonna cancel this one together with 1 from the bottom, so that means that you're gonna have 1 left still at the bottom. Okay, question B. Okay, let's say that you have 2x plus 4, and then over 3x plus 6. All right, so step number 1, you need to look at the top and see if you have a common factor. If the answer is yes, then you have to take that out. Okay, so in here the common factor between 2 and 4, well, is just 2. Okay, and then inside of the bracket we're gonna have x plus 2. Okay, so that means that the top simplify to these two factors, 2 and x plus 2, and then we're going to divide that by whatever we can do with the bottom. So you can see that in here we have 3 and 6, so the common factor between them is 3. So we're going to put 3, and then inside the bracket we're going to have x plus 2, which is really good. And the reason why it's so good is because we have a common factor on top and the bottom. Okay, so we have x plus 2 on top, and also we have x plus 2 at bottom. And then we can cancel these two out. So I mean that the answer is going to be just 2 over 3. Okay, these are very, I hope they are very simple exercises, but the whole thing gets a little bit more complicated later. Okay, but they're all doable. Okay, so if you remember what you've done before, then you shouldn't have any problem to do any of this question. Okay, question C. Let's do another one. Let's say that you have now. Yes, let's do another simple one. X minus 5 divided by 7x minus 35. Right, let's say that you have something like that. So if you have something like that, then we're gonna have to do it exactly the same as we did with question B. However, in this case, can you see that in here we got x minus 5, so we don't need to simplify anything from the top. However, we need to simplify the denominator. Okay, so we're gonna still have x minus 5 on top, but then we're gonna find the highest common factor between 7 and 35, which is just 7. And then when you take the common factor 7 out, then inside you have x minus 5. And then you can see that on top we have x minus 5, and at the bottom we have x minus 5. And then we can take these two out. But you gotta be very careful, because when you take these out, when you take this out and this out, well, on top we still have a factor of 1. Okay, so that means that when you simplify this, the answer in here is not 0. Okay, so the answer for this is 1, because x minus 5 is actually 1 multiplied by x minus 5. Okay, so if you want, you can put the 1 in here, and then you can put bracket in there, and then you can see clearly that when you take this out, we still have 1 on top. Okay, and then we can take x minus 5 and x minus 5 from the top and the bottom, so that means that the answer is not 0 over 7, but it's 1 over 7. Okay, so you got to be very careful with these exercises, because some people have the impression that when they take this out, then they don't have anything left on top, when in reality you still have this 1. Okay, let's do another question. So this is question D. All right, let's say that you have now a squared minus a over a squared plus a. All right. In here we are going to take the common factor a from the top, because you can see we have a common factor. So when you take the common factor a, then inside you have, inside of the other bracket, then you're going to have a minus 1. Okay, I should say inside of the bracket you have a minus 1, and then you have the factor a outside. Okay, and then you're going to divide that by, okay, let's see, in here again, so we have the factor a, so we take the factor a out, and then inside the bracket we're going to have a plus 1. All right, and then you can see we can cancel these two out. Okay, so that means that the answer is going to be just a minus 1 and then a plus 1, and we cannot simplify that. Okay, don't be tempted to simplify the a's or the 1. We cannot simplify this anymore because in here we have take away and in here we have plus, so we don't have factors to simplify. You see, in here we got a, take away 1, so it's not a times 1, so these two are not factors. Okay, so we gotta be careful. Okay, so let's do another question. Okay, like I say, these get a little bit more challenging. So you're gonna put a line right there in the middle. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E now. All right, let's do question E. Okay, question E is x squared minus 1 divided by x plus 1. Right. Now is when you have to remember something that we did previously, something that is very, very important, and it's called the difference of 2 squared. Okay, so in here you have x squared minus 1, which is the same as if you say x squared minus 1 squared. Okay, and then we can see that this is the very popular difference of 2 squared structure, and we know that the factorization for that is just x minus 1 multiplied by x plus 1. And that is good because then we divide that by x plus 1, and then we have a common factor, which is x plus 1. So we have x plus 1 on top and x plus 1 at the bottom, and then we take them out. So I mean that the answer is going to be x minus 1. We should put over 1, but we know that when you divide by 1, then the answer is the same. So mathematically, this should be x minus 1 divided by 1, but we know that when you divide by 1, the answer remains the same. So we're just going to leave it like that. Question F. Okay. We have 3x minus 18 and then divided by x squared minus 36. Okay, let's see if we can take any common factor from the top. Okay, the highest common factor between 3 and 18 is just 3, so we take the common factor out, and then inside we have x minus 6, and then we divide that by. All right, in here I hope that you can see that this is again the difference of 2 squared. So this is x squared minus 6 squared, and we know that we can simplify that as x plus 6 and then x minus 6, and then we can take these two out, so that means that the answer is just 3 over x plus 6. Okay, and that is the answer for that question. Okay, question G. All right. Okay, let's say that we have a squared plus b squared plus 2ab all divided by a plus b. Okay, and in this question again we need to pay attention because the top now is a trinomial. Okay, so is one of those in which you have 1, 2, and 3 terms. All right, and this is the one that we call money. But to see that, I'm gonna rewrite this in different order. So I'm gonna put the top as a square plus 2ab plus b square, and then we're gonna divide that by a plus b. Okay, so if you look very carefully what you have in this line here, so if you look very careful, this a square plus 2ab plus b square, I hope that you remember that this is simply something that you call the binomial square. Okay, so a square plus 2ab plus b square is what you did before with binomial squares. So yeah, I hope you remember this formula. A square plus 2ab plus b square is always equal to bracket a plus b close bracket square. Okay, so that is something that you did before. That's why I'm assuming that you know what to do. All right, but if you don't, make sure that you revise, you know, that section that you did before. Okay, and then simplifying this is quite simple because we know that a plus b in bracket square simply mean a plus b multiplied by itself. Okay, so a plus b in bracket square is the same as a plus b multiplied by itself. And then you divide this by a plus b, and then you can see clearly that we can take one ab from the top, another one from the bottom. So I mean that the final answer for this expression here is just a plus b. Okay, so that is the answer for that question. Okay, so I'm gonna continue on the next page. I may need to break up this video in two sections. Otherwise is a little bit big in size, and then when you upload it, then it takes long time. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna break this up in two sections, and probably I'm gonna be doing the same with the other videos. So at the end we may end up having maybe 6 different videos, but they're gonna be short in time, and they're gonna be small in size. Okay, so I'm gonna stop in here, and then I'm gonna start recording again.